My fiancée said she wasn't ready to commit, but asked me to wait. I nodded. Of course. Then I deleted all my socials and disappeared overseas. A month later, she was messaging everyone we knew, asking if anyone had heard from me. Have you ever experienced a moment when the world goes utterly silent? Not peaceful silence, but the suffocating, vacuum-like quiet. That's exactly what hit me last month. Sitting in our favorite restaurant, the one where I was about to finalize our wedding caterer, Sarah dropped the bomb. I just think, she began, swirling her wine, maybe things are moving too fast. I'm not sure I'm ready to commit right now. I stared at her. 5 years together. 6 months engaged. Wedding in 3 months. I owned the house. Every account, every bill, under my name. Her name only on a supplementary credit card I paid for. 5 years of building a life, and she wanted to slam the brakes at the finish line. So, you're calling off the wedding? My voice felt alien, distant. No, not at all, she said quickly, reaching for my hand. Her touch felt strange. I just need a pause. I need you to wait, while I figure things out. I love you. You know that. Can you wait for me? Her friends Ashley and Megan nodded sympathetically. It's normal, Ashley said. Women get cold feet. Give her space. I looked into Sarah's eyes. Earnest, pleading, but already elsewhere. She didn't want space. She wanted a safety net. The ring, the title of fiancée, security, and the freedom to do as she pleased. She wanted me on the shelf until she decided to return. In that dead, airless quiet, the decision formed. Not emotional. Not passionate. Logical. Absolute. I pulled away, smiled, and gave her the words she wanted. Of course. Take all the time you need. I'll wait. Relief flooded her expression. She squeezed my arm. Ashley and Megan smiled, their job done. The rest of the dinner was a girls' trip to Miami, the celebration of Sarah finding herself. I nodded, smiled, paid for cocktails, and listened as they planned a party on the ruins of our future. After dropping them off, I returned to our silent house. My house. And I began to act. No rage. No heartbreak. Just cold, clear focus. She wanted me to wait. Fine. She could wait, and see what came next. First, finances. I'd been working on a personal app, recently bought out by a major tech company. Life-changing money. She knew, and I realized now it was the catalyst. My advisor moved it all into untouchable trusts and offshore accounts. Next, joint accounts. Her supplementary card cancelled. Joint account closed. Lawyer removed her name from the car I'd bought her for her birthday 2 years ago. Then, digital. Deleted all social media, Instagram, Facebook, every photo, every memory, every connection. Backed up contacts, wiped my phone, got a new number. Finally, physical. Packed one suitcase, not clothes, but laptops, hard drives, legal documents. Walked through the house, past her things, like a museum of a life that no longer existed. Left one note on the kitchen counter, I'll wait. Then, I drove to the airport. One way, first class. Across the world. By the time Sarah woke, ready for consequence-free freedom, I was gone. A ghost. Update, 6 weeks living in a coastal town in Portugal. Rented a villa overlooking the ocean. Fast internet, amazing food, anonymity. Silence is bliss. My brother Dan is the only one who knows. Weekly calls bring updates on Sarah's meltdown. Week 1, perfect for her, everyone praised her for space and independence. She spent nights running up credit cards that no longer existed. First sign of trouble, Friday. Tried buying a dress. Declined. Another card. Declined. Called the company, account cancelled. Panicked, called Dan, shrieking, he's not answering. Dan feigned ignorance. And that's just the beginning. She spent the entire weekend trying to reach me. Texts didn't go through. Calls went straight to a disconnected message. She checked my social media, and that's when the real panic must have hit. My digital footprint was completely erased. The following week, her campaign began. At first, Casual messages to our mutual friends. Hey, have you heard from Ben? He's acting strange and isn't picking up. No one had. By the second week, the texts became frantic. She claimed I was missing, that something might have happened. She tried to appear as the loving, concerned fiancé whose partner vanished without warning. Some people believed it. Her parents even filed a missing person report. Police came to my house, saw the car gone, a suitcase missing, and assumed I left voluntarily. There was no evidence of foul play. Nothing they could do. Dan said the turning point came when she entered my house with her key. She expected an empty home, shadows, and silence. Instead, everything was untouched. Her belongings were there. The only missing things were me, my computers, and my note on the counter. She called Dan, frantic. What does this mean? Where is he? Dan's answer was perfect. I guess he's waiting for you to figure it out. That's what you asked for, right? Week 3, reality hit. The car I bought her was repossessed. Her parents covered her massive credit card debt. Ashley and Megan, her loyal friends, started to distance themselves. She was no longer fun, she had become a liability. She showed up at my old office asking about me. Colleagues didn't know I had quit the day the buyout was finalized. She went to my parents' house. My dad told her she was no longer welcome. By the end of the month, she was a social pariah. The story was clear. Her greed drove away her wealthy fiancé. She had lost the biggest opportunity of her life. Update 2. 3 months later, autumn in Portugal is beautiful. I've started a consulting firm, made friends, and am living freely. Dan called with the latest update. Sarah's life had predictably unraveled. Shunned by friends, she tried to reinvent herself. She moved in with Ashley. A rent argument ended in a screaming match and eviction. Back with her parents, she took a real job, working as a hostess at the same restaurant we once visited, Poetic Justice. Her narrative changed. She was no longer the worried fiancé. Now she claimed I was cruel, controlling, and had abandoned her. Bold, but useless. Too many people knew the truth. Too many had received her frantic texts. At a bar, she tried telling old friends her story. Mark, a longtime friend, stopped her. Sarah, we were all there. You asked him to wait. This is your fault. Ben isn't the bad guy, he did exactly what you requested. She broke down, yelling and crying, eventually kicked out. Ashley and Megan cut her off, labeling her toxic. She had burned every bridge. She thought she was playing chess. I had knocked over the board and walked away. Final update. A year later, I live in Lisbon. My business is thriving. I'm dating a local architect, serious, real, drama-free. I visited home for Christmas. Strange, like visiting a town that had moved on without me. I didn't see Sarah, but I heard about her. Her story became a cautionary tale, the girl who asked a ghost to wait. Still living with her parents, still working the restaurant. 2 months ago, she hired a low-budget lawyer to sue me for breach of promise and emotional distress. My lawyer laughed. We sent back a single-page response with a notarized affidavit from our wedding planner and the restaurant receipt proving I honored her request. She dropped the lawsuit the next day. There was no dramatic confrontation. No satisfying speech. My revenge was absence, the silent void where our future had been. She wanted me on pause. She didn't realize it was the last choice she would ever make in our relationship. I let her words hang, then built a life elsewhere. She's still waiting.